Alright, I wanted to check out this video. This is why people love Classic WoW so much, because I had some stuff to talk about it. Now, look at this HUD. This is a classic player's HUD. They got the arrow pointing to where they have to go. They have this add-on right here, Rested XP, which basically just tells them where to go, where to quest, exactly what steps to take. They have Questy right there, which basically tracks your quest. This is the average Classic player's HUD. Now, I don't know why. I don't know why it looks like retail. Like, people that play Classic claim to hate retail, but then they have these arrows that point to where they have to go. Convenience. They have these things which will literally tell you exactly what to do at every point. At every point, you're basically, oh, you have to go here, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do that. Oh, you can't kill this. Exactly how to level, rested XP, questy, all these things. This is the average Classic player HUD. I don't know, man. They hate Classic, but they hate retail, but then half their HUDs look like this. Now, I'm not talking about like this person's Twitch HUD. Okay, okay, thanks. Anyways. So that's the problem with Classic is they claim to hate retail, and that's what their heads look like. They got the arrows, they got the convenience things. So it's weird, man. It's very weird. It's very weird. But I wanted to check out this video.
Guys, recently Blizzard has released the Classic Fresh Realms, and you better believe that I have been playing a lot. But this recent release has left many people confused, just as confused as they were back in 2019. People are sitting there wondering, why the heck do people like this grindy version of the game so damn much? Well, in this video, I'm hoping to answer that question. The question of why do people love Classic WoW so damn much? Now, keep in mind, everybody's answer to that question, if you're a Classic WoW fan, is going to be a little different, but these are some of my reasons and reasons that I think that the community tends to put forward the most. So let's just geek.
To me, it's okay. I hate the fact that you have to go to trainers to get your upgrades. I hate the fact that you have to master weapons. I hate the fact that you can't just pick up a gun as a, whatever. You have to go to or you can't just pick up a gun or a bow. You have to go to these separate trainers to get those. You have to master weapons. You can miss. You can do all these like weird things if you're not high enough skill with that. To be honest, what I hate about the hunters, I hate having a pet which I have to feed. I hate having a pet which I have to freaking, keep happy. Like, I'm not playing Neopets. I'm not playing Tamagotchi. I don't want to min-max. I don't want to have to, min-max a pet to keep it happy, to keep, like, some digital pet feeling good and, feed it. That crap is annoying. Very, very annoying. There's a lot about Classic that just annoys me, man. And like, I just don't see the whole thing about it.
Out about some Classic WoW, shall we? But first, I probably should put my hair up. Before we get too deep into the video though, I have to thank Zygor, this channel's sponsor. Guys, you've been hearing me rant about them for over a year now. It is World of Warcraft's best add-on, linked down below in the description. Helps you with leveling, helps you make gold, helps you get achievements, helps you get mounts, pets, whatever you want. Zygor, it's World of Warcraft's ultimate add-on. All right, everyone knows it. Check them out, link down below in the description. Number 1, an MMORPG. One of the things that sets Classic WoW apart as a game is that it's an MMORPG. Now, what the heck does that mean? Well, first of all, it's a role-playing game, meaning that the roleplay and the immersion are forefront when it comes to the game. Classes are all very unique and distinct from one another. Class quests are there to teach you more about your character's lore and background. There's even unique mechanics that make certain classes really stand out from others. Warlocks, for example, can collect soul shards from enemies that they then use to sacrifice in order to summon demons. Hunters have to raise their pets, keeping them happy with food. Warriors constantly get their asses kicked until they begin to rock face around level 30 or so. The game is meant to be a role-playing game, a game where you create a character, you fall into this world, It's full of lore, full of quests, full of opportunities to custom.
Okay, but how is that different from retail exactly? That's not exactly different. Retail has all of those things except for the feeding pet and stuff, but I mean, there's a difference in classes, races, and retail too. So I mean, that's not really unique to Classic.
Customize your character the way you want them to be customized, but it's also an MMO. What this means is that Classic WoW is not a single player game, and it is not designed around the single player experience. Now, to be fair, you can play Classic WoW single player, you know, questing through the world and so on and so forth, but the game will very quickly and very subtly force you into groups with other groups of people. You'll be questing and suddenly you have a group quest that you have to complete. Suddenly you'll have a quest that tells you to go into a dungeon. And at endgame, if you want to kill Ragnaros, for example, or fight Onyxia, you're going to have to find a guild, you're going to have to group up with 40 people, and you're going to have to go take on those bosses. It's a game that actively rewards you for being social. It rewards you for engaging in the multiplayer element. And that's something that's, I think, kind of lost in modern MMOs nowadays. Modern MMOs seem to have this approach of, well, let's give people the multiplayer content, but let's also give players the single player content or the single player path as well. And although that sounds good on paper, an MMORPG is a multiplayer game that's meant to be approached from a multiplayer standpoint. And so we'll talk more about this in a second, the community of Classic WoW, but we'll just leave it there for right now. The point is, unless you're...
Yeah, okay, I can agree that that point that he made is more, you know, towards Classic itself rather than like the generalization of role-playing, because I mean, yeah, the other point that he made about the classes and the races and stuff, that doesn't just apply to Classic, that applies to every version of WoW. I mean, you could be a friggin' wolf man, whatever, or you could be a little small little fox man. Like those are different classes. If you're a, you know, so you can role play different things. But yeah, I agree with the social aspect. That's more towards Classic. That it doesn't have LFR. It doesn't have all these other systems. You have to actually go to the physical raid entrance to get inside of it. You can't just like, you know, instantly be ported into there or whatever. So yeah, I agree with that.
You're playing Classic WoW Big Sweaty, the game really does feel like just an online D&D session with your friends, just making your character, exploring who they are, and just exploring this big adventure that's in front of you. And that's pretty cool. Number 2, impactful delayed rewards. Another thing that people really love about Classic WoW is how rewarding the game feels even at early levels. Every completed quest moves you closer to leveling up, which means you get to go on an adventure back to your class trainer to unlock more delicious new spells. And after a while, every ding is rewarded with a new talent point, class quests, or look forward to every 10 levels for certain classes, and so on. Even the gear. The point is that leveling up in the game feels very rewarding. But even from a gear standpoint, Classic WoW delivers. Every time you get a new piece of gear, it really feels like something that you can feel. And it really helps that in Classic WoW, the gear that you get is fewer and further between. Even before level 10, getting a new piece of gray gear with more armor attached to it feels like this huge upgrade. And your first green, dude, it's incredible. Your first blue, your first epic, come on, man. And these things are especially cool if you crafted your first greens or whatever for yourself through professions. Dungeons take longer to do, so getting a blue piece of gear feels really special, especially since not everybody is brave enough to group up and descend into the depths of Azeroth's more challenging.
I don't know if taking more time is something that's better. Like, sometimes you just want to do a quick dungeon, you know? You don't have like 3 hours to spare. You just have like half an hour to pound out some quick little like gaming session, you know?
Content. Epics are limited to only the highest levels of players, with only a very few rare ones hidden in the world here and there to tease lower level players. The point is, when it comes to Classic WoW, everything feels great to be involved in, because everything rewards your character in a very meaningful and impactful way. Doing your professions will award you with huge gear upgrades at times, or potions that you can use in the open world that you wouldn't normally be able to find. Grinding for more money means you can buy some upgrades on the auction house. Simple questing can award you with group gameplay, as well as sweet level ups that reward you with abilities, new talent points. Classic WoW is a game that's always rewarding you for playing it, but it's not a game that's constantly rewarding you, like a pair of keys that are jangling in front of your face. The rewards are delayed. The satisfaction of getting those rewards is increased, and it's something that players really appreciate about the game. It's one reason why, for example, Classic WoW Hardcore was so popular. I mean, you gotta think, like, it was this very big successful movement in the Classic WoW community. Players making character after character, playing as far as they can go, dying, starting again, doing it over and over, doing these starting zones repeatedly, time and time again, and people weren't getting bored of it. And I think that shows just how rewarding the Classic WoW adventure is, even at
sure, a lot of people got bored of it.
early levels. It's incredibly good game design. Number 3. A simpler world. It's something that everybody hates when it comes to modern MMOs, including modern World of Warcraft. This idea that you are the chosen one. You are the special champion of Azeroth. You are the savior that was promised to the world. People absolutely hate that garbage. In Classic WoW, in contrast, you are just this no-name jack-off adventurer. And if you do have a name, it is a name that was given to you by the community for your accomplishments, not by Blizzard or the quests or whatever. You see, Classic has this game design of you just being this total nobody, just making your way through the world, seeing what sort of trouble that you can get into. You're getting involved in all these adventures that the world has to offer. You're not beginning as a hero. You are not some soldier of the Alliance. You are not some warrior of the Horde. You are just some goof who found a crappy sword or a wizard staff, and you are off to try to see who you can become based on your own efforts. And even that adds to that rewarding sense that Classic WoW has, because if you're a mage, for example, and you go into SFK and you get the robes of Arugal or something, and you're hanging out with other mages around your level who don't have the robes of Arugal, it makes you feel special, because you have something that they don't. You went on an adventure that they have not had yet and gotten a reward that they have not gotten to taste. And that's really cool. There is no achievement book necessary in the game because your character immediately tells the story to everybody around you of who you are. Are you a casual questing adventurer, a brave dungeoneer, an epic raider, a wealthy auction house worker, whatever. The simplicity of starting everybody as a blank canvas even adds to the roleplay or immersion element of the game that we were discussing earlier. Because starting as that level 1 human warrior begs the question of, who are you gonna be? Are you gonna be this epic tank who's gonna stare down Ragnaros? A DPS who's going to be busting out big numbers for your group as you descend deep into Encourage? Or are you gonna seek out the challenge of being the Grand Marshal of the Alliance? It's a feeling that Classic WoW captures with every new character made, and it's probably one reason why so many people enjoy leveling up in Classic WoW so damn much. It is a simpler world ready for you to write your story within it. It is not a story that is being handed to you or a story that you are being forced to play through. You are writing the story. It's your adventure, your experience, your world to play in. And I think that's something truly special that no other MMO has captured as well as Classic WoW has. And number 4, community. So I've talked a lot about the game's design and that immersive quality of Classic WoW's adventure, but MMOs live and die on the anvil of their community, for better or for worse. And that's what I want to talk about right now. So going back to what I was talking about in the first point, Classic WoW is an MMORPG. One of the best parts about Classic WoW is that it is a multiplayer game. It's an entire world of people creating stories every day for better or for worse. Stories of people helping each other out through hard times, or tales of streamers abusing their audiences and crashing servers. Regardless, the Classic community has always felt a lot tighter than other MMOs, it seems. All that need for grouping up, all those moments where you want to craft something, but you just need reagent from another profession.
I don't agree with that. I think he's just like saying it from the lens of playing WoW. I think like every game has that. Like Eve, the people that like do all that stuff in Eve. I'm sure there's like, if you go to the Eve community, there's those guys that are very popular in that space that are doing crazy things. Like, I'm just sure that that's like looked at through the lens of being, this is my community. Of course, I'm gonna say like WoW's the most tight knit one. So obviously.
That you don't have, and getting a quest that you have to ask for help for, the big confusing world if you're a new player, which leads to you constantly asking in general chat, where the heck is this thing that you're looking for, or where should you go? Going into town and asking the druid to buff you, then the maid.
Yeah, but they don't have that. You see, the quest that you literally, the add-on that you're trying to get people to download takes that away from them. You do realize that Zygor takes all that away, right? Rested XP takes all that away from a new player. If a new player already has that downloaded, they literally have a checklist of what to do, where to go, exactly what quest to take. They have an arrow on their screen directing them at every turn. That's hello. Like, those things are actively stopping communities from being formed, because it's going to tell you, don't take this quest, that one's too dangerous, don't take this one, you have to take this path to level up the fastest, you got, you know, if you do this when you reach 200 XP, you go farm these other guys in this other land, and then when you farmed up to 5 bars, then you leave that area and you go get another quest in this area. Those are like telling you what to do. It's a checklist. Those things are actively, that add-on actively stops people from doing what you are talking about. Those add-ons actively hurt the community, because you have people in their little micro bubbles doing those things. The game has now turned into a checklist. Most people have turned Classic WoW into a checklist, because they have these add-ons that basically, okay, I go here, I go here, I go here, I go here. Okay, now I'm level 60. Now I go into this dungeon, I go into this dungeon, I go into this dungeon. Okay, now I have all my gear. Well, oh, what? The add-on's not telling me what to do? What do I do? What do I do? I don't have this check mark. Because you haven't formed your own adventure. You've been following your guide this whole time. What are you talking about? You're talking about forming your own adventure. Brother. You're following a guide. That's not, like, you're not forming your own adventure in this world. You are following a guide.
Then the priest, all of these subtle ways to get players to socialize or just interact with each other in very small little ways, like just thanking somebody for a, power word fortitude buff or something. Like, this is something that makes the Classic WoW community so special. To this day, I still remember the friends I made back in Classic all those years ago, back in 2005 when I first started playing the game. Pyro Mike, Swift Angel, Granak, One Eye, people that I'm never gonna see again. Like, I haven't spoken to these people in years. Like, I don't even know how long it's been. But I'll always remember these people because they were the ones that I quested with and went on adventures with. They're just a part of my childhood, and I wouldn't have met these people if Classic WoW wasn't a game with such a community.
So nostalgia, basically. Come on now, let's not sugarcoat it. That's nostalgia. That is 100% nostalgia. If you had played retail, if retail was the game that you played, you would be saying the exact same thing about retail and the retail friends you made. Come on now, that's nostalgia. You're just explaining nostalgia. Come on now, let's not.
Community emphasis behind it. Honestly, the community of Classic WoW is incredible, and I think it's the community spirit of Classic which led to us getting Classic re-released back in 2019 in the first place. If it wasn't for this deep love that the Classic WoW community has for each other and for the game, I don't think we would have seen a 2019 re-release or even these fresh
Brother. there's, there's a reason they released Classic, and it's not because of community. It's because of the community's pockets, if you know what I mean. Come on, brother. Let's not pretend like that's some sort of a that they're doing it because they love the game too. Come on now. Let's not. Come on. No, no, no. No, no, no. That's the community that got it released. Is the community that oh, there's a community of this? Oh, will they be able to sub? Will they pay for this every month? Oh, okay. We'll release it then. Oh, so wait. If we release fresh classic servers, they're going to come back and give us more money every month, and then it's going to be very popular on Twitter, and tons of streamers are going to stream it and get more eyes on WoW again. If we release a fresh server. So my question is, are they just gonna keep releasing fresh servers with like nothing added? That's like what I want to know. Is like, is WoW just going to endlessly release the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, without anything added in, without anything new? Just go to level 60, do that again, get thousands of people to watch, and then just do that every year. Because man, classic fresh servers brought in a whole lot of people. It's crazy that like, why wouldn't you just keep releasing fresh with little to no work?
Servers that have recently come out. I don't think we would have seen that at all. So in conclusion, the community element of the game is one of the things that just makes it so special. So why do people love Classic WoW so much? Well, despite it being a dated game, it is a game that really captures the essence of what an MMORPG is supposed to be. It's a game that has impactful, delayed rewards. Not a game that treats you like some child that's always dangling pixels in front of you and always constantly rewarding you with these flashing things like a stupid casino game. No, if you got a new sword, you earned that sword. New robe, you earned that, and it feels great. The world is simpler. You're just an adventurer. You're writing your own story. You're not being told the story.
Unless you're following a guide, like Zygor or Rested XP. In that case, you are being told the story because you are being told where to go. I'm sorry, brother. Those add-ons ruin the integrity of what you're talking about Classic is being. Brother. I get it. You're sponsored, but come on. I like how you're tiptoeing around it. It's cute. It's cute.
You're not following some linear path. You
not following some linear path, brother. What are those add-ons? I pulled up that stream of that person. They literally tell you where to go, what to do. You can't tell me that half the people that play Classic don't have that. You're delusional. Stop it. Stop it.
You are making the adventure. And finally, you're not doing that adventure alone.
I can't. You are making that adventure again. No, you're not. Not if you're using those add-ons, you're not. I'm sorry. Just stop. Just stop.
Large, living, breathing community that is doing wonderful things together or ripping each other's throats out of their necks. It's these reasons and a whole lot more that Classic WoW is such a beloved game. And if you are somebody playing on the Classic Fresh Realms right now, I hope that you're having a great time.
Brother, that's just nostalgia. That's the only reason. Because I remember the friends I made along the way. Like that's 100% nostalgia. And don't get me wrong, it's what keeps Marvel just kind of, you know, going along. But like, yeah, it doesn't mean that, you know. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just, hey, I guess People like classic because they like classic. That's it. The mystery of... No, I agree with some points about how, yeah, there is a lot more people out in the world without flying mounts and stuff like that. You see a lot more people. There is kind of a lot more people are willing to see you and buff you and stuff like that. Like, I agree with that because especially in the early levels, everybody's giving you, you know, words and whatever those nature ones that they're everybody's putting buffs on each other when you're walking out and questing in the world, because the world does feel a little bit more full. But like, come on, beyond that, I think, yeah, the whole point of those add-ons that take away from that, especially if you're a new player. Like, I can understand if you played classic WoW 500 times, you've already been through the leveling, you want to have this add-on. But then again, if you played that much time, why would you even need an add-on telling you where to go, what to do? You already know what to do. But it's like, as a new player, if you're like, okay, I'm getting ready to, you know, I want to take classic WoW on first time. I'm not going to do hardcore right away. I'm just going to do normal classic WoW. What are you going to do? You're going to download Questy. You're going to download Zygor. You're going to download Rested XP. You're going to download like one of those, you know, either Rested XP, Zygor, one of those other ads that tell you what to do. You're going to download Questy because it's got that arrow that tells you where to go. So basically, brother, you're halfway to playing retail at that point, because you're playing this dated game, but you're putting on systems to make it less dated. So that's kind of counteractive, and then you're basically like, okay, I don't know what to do myself, so I'm just gonna follow this guide. So you're not forming your own adventure like that guy said. You're just, unless you're playing it by yourself, randomly picking different quests. If you're following a guide, you're not forming your own adventure. You are playing somebody else's adventure. Okay, so that's like null and void if you're doing that. And I get it. You gotta push this add-on, but like, why you're not saying anything about using these add-ons? Using add-ons like this, it's a kind of, it's just like, to new players especially, if you want to have this fun adventure and you're guiding yourself and you're being guided through it, that's not very fun. But anyways,